Hey, welcome to the second video on how to start using Bluetooth on your Microbit. Today we're going to be creating, or in this video we're going to be creating the Fireflies program. Now this is something you can follow along and is created by Microbit, but it's an excellent way to learn how to send out specific information on the Microbit and how to get other Microbits to then sync up. This is called Fireflies, and the essential premise of this is one Microbit is going to be sending out information and it's going to be blinking, and eventually all the Microbits together will all get synced up and they'll all blink at the same time. So the way this is going to work is we can go ahead and keep these on start and forever. First thing we need to do is, using our radio, we need to set the transmit power and the set group. So we'll grab our set group here and we'll drop this into our on start, and we're going to say radio set group, and we're going to set it on to 12. This is essentially telling the Bluetooth channel to be set to 12 and then to also read anything else on number 12. We also need to set the power of that, and to access that you click on more, and we'll do oops, I believe I grabbed the wrong one there. More. Yeah, sorry, I had the right one. Radio set transmit power. And let's change that to 1. And we're going to keep it as low power. So it's only going to sync up with things within its immediate vicinity. Now that we have our on start created, we can move on to the forever. Before we do that, let's go ahead and create a variable, and let's call this variable our clock. Our clock is going to act as a counter, and it's going to be sending out counting information for other microbits to pick up, and that's how we get everything synced together from there. Let's go ahead and go into our logic. Let's grab this if true then else statement. And in this if true then else statement, go ahead and grab under logic the 0 less than 0, and we're going to change that to a 0 is greater than or equal to, so our very last one, 0. And we're going to add our variable clock. We're going to say if our clock is greater than or equal to the number 8. So it's counting up and it's going to be reading information. It needs to perform this next set of actions, and that's going to be the radio send number. So we go click radio send number. We're going to leave it as 0. We're going to, in our advanced tab here, grab this awesome tool, change score by 1, and it's going to produce a pre-made animation. Very nice. And it's going to be blinking. Looks cool. And then we're going to have it pause for 200 milliseconds. So to do that, we go into Basic, Pause, and change that to 200 milliseconds. And finally, we need to set clock to 0. And let's just kind of work through this. Basically, we're saying that if our clock is greater than or equal to 8, then it's going to perform the action of sending out the number for other microbits to pick up. It's going to flash, it's going to do a quick little pause, and then it's going to reset our clock back to 0 till everything gets on the same time schedule. Knowing that, we can move into our else. We're going to grab our pause milliseconds. And then let's grab our variable here of change clock by 1. And that's all we're going to do there. So it's reading to see if this is occurring at the same time. And if it's not, then, excuse me, we're going to be saying our clock, if the certain events that are set up are occurring, it'll do this, otherwise it's going to do this. Next, on our radio, let's grab on radio received number, and very simply, we're going to do change clock by 1. So we click variable and switch this from received number to clock. So change clock by 1. So when we can see in our simulation here that it's waiting till it gets synced up. So if I refresh this, this one starts, and they're off sync, and now they're going to try and get synced up together. Takes a little bit of time. But this is the essential premise. You can test this out using your own microbit or test it out with a friend. They'll need the same code on here as well.